Sharks have long been the subject of fascination and fear, often depicted as relentless hunters capable of detecting the faintest drop of blood from miles away. Hollywood blockbusters and countless myths have convinced many that a single cut in the ocean is enough to summon a feeding frenzy. But how much of this is fact, and how much is pure fiction? In today's episode, we answer the question, can sharks smell blood from miles away? Sharks are among the ocean's most efficient predators, relying on a combination of highly developed senses to locate prey. Unlike humans, who primarily depend on vision and sound, sharks possess an array of finely tuned sensory adaptations. They have electroreception, which allows them to detect the electric fields of living creatures, and a lateral line system, a network of sensors along their bodies that detects vibrations and movement. Their acute vision gives them excellent eyesight, particularly in dim light, while their enhanced hearing enables them to pick up low-frequency sounds from long distances. Most notably, they have an astonishing sense of smell, allowing them to detect chemical traces in the water. While all these senses contribute to a shark's ability to track down prey, their sense of smell is the one most frequently exaggerated. So can a shark really sniff out blood from miles away? Sharks do not use their nostrils for breathing. Instead, their nares, small openings under their snout, are dedicated entirely to smelling. As water continuously flows through these nares, it passes over olfactory lamella, highly sensitive structures that detect chemicals dissolved in the water. These signals are then sent to the shark's olfactory bulbs, which make up a large portion of their brain. This system allows sharks to detect incredibly faint chemical signals, often at concentrations as low as 1 part per million. Some species, like the great white shark, have olfactory bulbs so advanced that they can distinguish different types of blood and chemical cues in their environment. But does this mean they can detect a drop of blood from miles away? The idea that sharks can detect a drop of blood from miles away is an exaggeration. While their sense of smell is impressive, several factors determine how far a scent can travel in the ocean. One key factor is dilution. When a drop of blood enters the water, it immediately begins to spread out. The farther it travels, the more diluted it becomes, making it increasingly difficult for a shark to detect. Another important factor is ocean currents. If a shark is positioned down current from the scent, it has a much better chance of detecting it. However, if the current carries the scent in a different direction, the shark may never come across it at all. Realistically, a shark might begin to detect blood at distances of several hundred yards, not miles. While this ability is still remarkable, it is far from the superpower often depicted in popular culture. While the scent of blood can alert sharks to potential prey, it is not the most powerful attractant. Studies have shown that sharks respond even more strongly to fish oils and amino acids. These are released when fish are injured, signaling an easy meal, dead or distressed prey. The smell of decaying fish can draw sharks from a distance. Electromagnetic signals. Sharks have special organs called ampullae of Lorenzini, which allow them to detect the tiny electrical fields emitted by living creatures. This means that even if a human is bleeding in the water, a shark is more likely to be attracted to a struggling fish nearby than to human blood itself. There is a common fear that sharks have a preference for human blood, but research suggests otherwise. Sharks do not actively hunt humans, and, in most cases, attacks on people are cases of mistaken identity. Surfers and swimmers can resemble seals or other marine prey, especially in murky waters. Another common concern is whether menstruation attracts sharks. While menstrual blood contains similar compounds to other bodily fluids, it is released in very small amounts and quickly diluted in the ocean. There is no scientific evidence to suggest that menstruation significantly increases the risk of a shark encounter. Sharks have an extraordinary sense of smell, capable of detecting tiny amounts of chemicals in the water. However, the notion that they can sense a single drop of blood from miles away is a myth. Their ability to track scents is influenced by dilution, ocean currents, and other sensory cues. Rather than being mindless blood seekers, sharks use a combination of senses to locate prey, relying on movement, smell, sound, and electrical signals. So while it's always wise to be cautious in shark-inhabited waters, a small cut or a drop of blood is unlikely to trigger a shark frenzy. Now, it's time to see how much you've learned from today's episode. We've got 3 fun trivia questions coming up. Ready? Let's start. Question 1. How do sharks primarily detect scents in the water? The correct answer is C. Through specialized olfactory bulbs in their nares. Sharks use their nares, which contain highly sensitive olfactory bulbs, to detect chemical signals in the water, helping them locate prey. Let's try another question. Question 2. What factor affects how well a shark can detect blood in the water? The correct answer is C. Ocean currents and dilution. Scents disperse in water, and the ability of a shark to detect blood depends on how the chemical spreads, rather than the amount itself. Let's move on to the last question for this episode. Question 3. Which of the following attracts sharks more than human blood? The correct answer is A. The scent of fish oils and amino acids. Sharks are more drawn to the smell of distressed fish, which release oils and amino acids into the water, making them a stronger attractant than human blood. Great job! If you got all 3 questions correct. If you missed any, don't worry. You've just learned some fascinating facts about these incredible ocean predators. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution.